Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gat, your host. A viewer requested a birth natal chart analysis. That's what you're looking at right now. And that's what we're going to be doing. Now, as you know, new requesters of natal charts, they always get the free astrological report. That astrological report is going to explain all these 12 houses you're looking at, its relationship to the signs, and anything related to astrology. Because anything that you're dealing with, the psychic, whatever, is astrology. And it is, when you have a correct interpretation of scripture, it's all throughout the Bible. Just to give you a couple examples, Genesis 15, God told Abraham, I'm going to make your seed like the stars of heaven, because Abraham's seed have a connection to the stars of heaven. You see it again, the stars of heaven, in Revelation 12. They couldn't have found Jesus without his star in Matthew chapter 2. The heavens declare the glory of God. I think that's Psalms 19. You'll see signs in the sun, moon, and stars. I think that's Luke 21. Talks a lot about the moon, the sun throughout Bible prophecy. And just like if you knew the Old Testament is more like moon, because God's Old Testament people, these so-called Hebrews, they were moon people. And then the Christians came under the sun, the day star of Jesus Christ, the bright morning star of Jesus Christ. They even call him the sun, Eshu, of righteousness in Malachi chapter 4. So when you really know scriptures and not the lies that these people gave us when they overthrew the indigenous people and stole all their sciences, all their spirituality, and then gave it back to you, basically tricking you to curse yourself. But that only was going to last for a period of time, and that time is up. So now you're seeing people returning that are doing what our ancestors did. So this is a great time to be alive. So you want to make sure you understand that, or at least try to get a grip of it, because otherwise, no matter what you learn, you're going to keep processing that old garbage, and it's not going to work anymore. None of that stuff is really going to work anymore, because the time is up. That's the 400-year prophecy at Genesis chapter 15. So it's important for me to clarify that, so you know where I'm going with these things, and everything I say, I make sure I can prove it. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it. So now I tell everybody, it's always good to take notes, because you're about to get hit with a whole lot of information, and really you'll think, because the mind shuts off, your mind will shut off, and you may not hear certain things, and you'll be like, whoa, did he mention this, did he mention it? And you'll say, oh, if you go back, you'll be, oh, he did mention it, but that's because the mind is going to cut off after a certain period of time. So when you take notes, you kind of get it, and the main thing, you just want to try to understand it by listening, because like I said, we live in a time when people say, well, could you tell me this? Could you explain that? Could you explain that? And unfortunately, you have to understand, if I was to do that, that would be a lot of hours. Like if I was to go back over it, it would be a lot of hours involved. So I try to keep it as affordable as possible, because I'm trying to get everybody to get the natal chart, because that is biblical. Like Jesus had his star, which was his natal chart. You're supposed to have you're supposed to know where your place is. Like I'm going to say it again. When God said to Abraham in Genesis 15, I'm going to make your seed like the stars of heaven. There's obviously a connection. And then when you see that baby being born in Revelation 12, once again, talking about the stars of heaven. So there's definitely a connection. And then when you read the book of Job, it's all about the angels up in heaven. And when they start talking about in the book of Job, astrology, constellations and stuff like that. So you can't get past it. And most people, they don't go by what the Bible says. They go by what somebody told them. But all this is prophetic, and you're about to see the revelation of it now. So my goal is to try to get people in tune with their prophecy, their prediction, which is your birth natal chart. There's nothing on the planet that's going to be more precise and more pertinent for you than that. And some people try to take the easy way and sneak in shortcuts, but they're going to have to pay for that. So that's what I offer. I try to keep it as affordable as possible. And if a person wants further questions, they can place another order. Otherwise, they can just pay more in the beginning and then I have more time to ask questions or whatever they want to do. But they have to understand it's a lot involved with this, as you're about to see. And anybody that's on my channel knows there's a lot involved with this, and there's a lot of time involved with this. So we got to be, realistic. All right. So you have a very interesting first house, because your first house is in your 12th house, which means you have a lot of past life stuff that you're still going to be dealing with in this life. But they gave you Leo, because Leo will be courageous about it, bold about it. And Leo can be romantic, very creative, can also resonate with children or be even childish itself. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because especially in relationships, people want you to be fresh and new and, make me smile and all that. So first thing we want to know is Sun in the 12th house. All right, so this is Astro Codex, one of my favorite websites. Okay, now we did ask the archangels about the time of birth, and I found this to be interesting too. Your time of birth is very similar to the digits of your date of birth, and I've seen that before too. But now 739, if you added those numbers, it could also be 712 because 3 plus 9 is 12. Now you have to remember about 711, because in 711 AD, according to their history, that's when the Moors were kicked out of Spain, or when the Moors left Spain, according to their history. So 711 has always been like a mystical number because of that reason. But you see it again. You see it in Mark chapter 7, verse 11. It talks about the gift of Corban. But that's carbon melanin. Now, I don't know if you know about Dr. Bobby Hemmett, but 666, the reason why they want us to be afraid of it, 666 is 6 proton, 6 neutron, 6 electron, which is carbon melanin. And I can still prove it more, because carbon melanin, when they talk about Elijah, if you know the prophet Elijah was always at Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel, that's carbon melanin. And if you know what Elijah does, he brings destruction to the people of God and God's enemies. When you read Revelation chapter 2 verse 9 and Revelation chapter 3 verse 9, they tell you that these people that say that they are God's people, but they use the word Jew, they are not Jews. And he even says he's going to bring those people down, and they're going to come to the feet of God's people, because God said his people are his feet, and they're going to inherit the new earth that's coming. It's new earth, new heaven. This is not just rhetoric. This is about prophetic facts. And even like if you see your 3-9, well, it says you were born as 3-9. This is what I was told. But if you go to Revelation 3-9, that's exactly what it says. But it's like I said, more that I'll get to as well. And 7 has always been a sacred number with the Most High. See, when you go to Revelation chapter 3, verse 9, so it says they say that they are Jews, but are not. They are the synagogue of Satan. And this is what happened through the history. Like the idea of the real people of God was stolen. But it's being returned even now. They're more and more waking up. Now remember, you see, Indianapolis. Well, remember what they said. Oh, we call these people India because when Columbus got here, he saw people, but they look like the people of India. And that's kind of true, but not always true. Like the real people that were here, the indigenous, were like melanated people. Now, the ironicity is where you were born is called Miriam. Now, Miriam again, Mary is it like the that's another name for Isis, but Miriam has always been connected to the so-called Moors, the people that were already here, the indigenous people. Even your name, Indianapolis, see that's indigenous. You got to understand the etymology. So I saw a lot of similarities on the information I was doing as well. So now we'll get back to the sun. All right. So they say when a person has the sun in the 12th house, it's to dissolve all the fears. Because the 12th house is a fear of isolation. The 12th house is about fears and isolation. So you got the sun in the 12th house that dissolve those fears. And even with Leo. And it's also things that are hidden as well. But the sun will shine lights on what's hidden. But because of the deception, because Neptune is the deceiver. Neptune rules Pisces. Pisces rules the 12th house. So Neptune rules the 12th house as well. So they're saying that the sun in the 12th house is a weak placement. So that's almost like saying this person will see that it's, the person can see that it's wrong or see it's not healthy, but they're not going to have well, they don't know. They don't know that the lion's there though, because the lion's not. The lion has courage. The Leo. So they said it will preserve most of its powerful traits when in a fire sign. Well, it is in a fire sign, so that's good. So in this life, you can already see, because the 12th house is about karma too. So you already have a karmic assignment not to be afraid when you're faced with like I just put that female on my channel, and usually things happen before I do a chart, and those things that happen before I do a chart is for that person that ordered that chart. Because that female is a little teeny, beautiful Mexican female, but she's in one of the toughest prisons on the West Coast. And as small as she is, she's brave enough to go up in there. And she's highly attractive. The reason why I'm saying all this is because that's not no place you want to be in no prison. You don't want to be small. because they think they can take you easily. You don't want to be attractive or beautiful because these guys ain't seen sex in a long time, and it's dangerous. But she goes in and does her thing. So that's that Leo in the darkness, and she's real light skinned like the sun. So now the 12th house is an open gate to the collective subconscious and unconscious. Now, just like I said on your free report, you can always go deeper of all these houses that we're talking about. So you'll have a collective awareness of the subconscious mind and the unconscious. So any planet located in that 12th house will have some psychic ability. Now, just so you know, that the sun also has psychic abilities and connections, but the sun deals a lot with the ego, what's external, and the divine masculine. Planet Mercury deals with thoughts, but you have to be careful because Mercury is retrograde. So that means you may have trouble understanding, or people may have trouble understanding you. But next to Mercury is at 25 degrees and 3 minutes. 25 degrees, 3 minutes. But 25 degrees is law. Like I told you, the Old Testament people were moon law, or the law, ruled by the moon. And the moon was like the mother. The New Testament was more like, see, the Old Testament was more like Mother Mary. The New Testament was baby Jesus, Jesus, the Son. It'd always be a divine masculine, divine feminine. And those are your original twin flames. So you may be hard to understand because people really don't want to hear that. And that is a spiritual house. The 12th house is a spiritual house. So you may be trying to teach it, or talk it, or live it, but you're gonna have difficulties because other people ain't gonna understand it or cooperate with it. And like I said, a lot of times when you talk, it'll be misunderstood as well. And it may even mean that when you're trying to study and trying to get it, you may have trouble getting it too. And the number 3 is Venus energy. Is the Empress card, but it's also like the third house or Gemini and stuff like that. You have to learn more about that when we get there. And as we said, the EP or the East Point is where the sun went over the ecliptic when you were born, but that it does a lot with the ego and stuff like that. And the AC is the ascendant, where the sun went over the horizon when you were born. The person that ordered this, and that's your rising sign. Somebody says, "What is your rising sign?" Well, your rising sign is your ascendant, so of course it would be Leo. Well, what's your sun sign? Leo. And the one thing that like, you just have to be careful with Leo because Leo sometimes can have a whole lot of ego too. So you have to be very careful because the 12th house is supposed to be about service. So you shouldn't turn the 12th house into being about you or. And don't get me wrong, because you are supposed to bring the reckoning in the 12th house, but still you have to be able to bring the reckoning in your own personal life and your past lives, and you're supposed to try to bring it to reckoning this life in the 12th house, but you still have to prioritize while you're there. The 12th house is about service to others, and it's supposed to be done unselfishly. Now, when you go back up to the moon, oh yeah, you even have Mars in your 12th house, and that's where it's going to get intense. So let's take a look at that. Now, whenever you have Mars and Leo, you have to be careful because it's possible young ones could be abused. So you have to be very careful that you're not abusive towards young ones. And in its any form, because you have to just learn how to, talk at the end of the day. Because some people say, "Well, I'm not abusive." Well, I might yell at them, but that's not cool either. So you have to just learn how to talk. Because even see that Mars is number 3. See, 3 is like the third house, and that's even small children. Because 3 is the Emperor's card, the Emperor's Tarot card 3, and that's all about raising the youth and raising the young ones. But it's Venus energy, and it's kind of funny because you don't have your Venus ain't too far from what I'm talking about. Your Venus is in the 11th house, and so is Gemini. Like I said, young children. So you gotta really watch that. Because remember, the 12th house is very karmic. Whatever you do, it'll come back on you. And then it's 3 degrees with the number 28. And 28 is always somebody who's extreme or not balanced. So you got to really be careful at. And that the house all this is going on is a very supernatural house. That's your 12th house. And I gotta tell you, we'll probably be talking about your dreams as well, because you see Neptune controls your dreams, and so does the Moon. And if you notice, they're in the same house as well. And you see a Capricorn there, which can be very strict. And there's probably a reason why Capricorn is there. So you're seeing a lot of karma. Even when I see that number 21, a lot of karma is there with your curious. So give me a second. We'll go into all of this. Just give me a moment. All right, let's continue. So if you're ever going to use your psychic gifts, you just have to make sure you're being understood. And there are ways to do that, because you got that Mercury retrograde, which means that you may not be understood, but it could also mean you not fully understanding. So in the 12th house, they're encouraging you to spend time alone, maybe meditate, things like that. Remember, Mercury, planet Mercury, which is retrograde, it is going to be it's going to have problems with your thinking ability, your thoughts. So you got to really realize that. Because otherwise, things are going to be seeming clear to you, but other people are going to be looking at you like, man, this person's confused. Because you're not going to be understood, and it is going to make your thought process. Mercury deals with your thinking process, your creativity, your communication skills, how you take in information, and how you output information. And Mercury retrograde means in the past life, for whatever reason, you were stymied. Like you might have used to talk, but your talking got you or other people in trouble. So now you're kind of scared in this life to talk. And that 12th house. Well, you see, it's the 12th, but they made it your first house. But it's still all about communication issues. So you have to be mindful of that. But you will have a strong connection to the deeper realms of the conscious mind. but they're encouraging you to spend time alone. With meditation, stuff like that. I would even say spend time alone and learn how to make sure you're being understood when you communicate. But it could be difficult because even when you think the person understands almost as fast as they say, "Yeah, I got it," it'll still go back to not really understanding. But that's because of that Mercury retrograde when you were born. So, Sun in the 12th house will make a person secluded. Person might be a type of loner, but the restriction is imposed by themselves, not by others. But something must have happened that makes this person feel like, well, it'd probably be better if I wasn't, around. Some people can be rather shy, referring not to be the center of attention. And that's kind of difficult for Leo, though, because Leo tends to could be dramatic, does like attention. They can be brave and strong. They can be very loyal, courageous, creative, but they can also like to bring that drama. And they don't like any form of disloyalty. Like if a Leo's with you, they expect you to be like with them the same way. And most people cannot be as loyal as a Leo is. And that's why Leo has a lot of problems. Because they like once they feel you betrayed them, they really drop low. For me being my sun sign's a Leo also. So you have to get it like a kind of like a reality check. You have to realize that, the planet's not perfect, people are not perfect, and don't go overboard if you're going to be all upset when nobody goes overboard for you. So that way you don't have to be whining about that or caring about that because you stopped doing it. Sometimes it's just better to react to people at the level they're on. Because otherwise you might be at a higher level, but you're going to keep on getting frustrated and upset. So Leo in the 12th house will try to help people without, putting their business on blast. And that's how you can make good money though, because a lot of people will come to you because you can be confidential. And so they really saying sun in the 12th house, they really want to not be seen. Now Leo, like he already told you, Leo might make that a little bit different. But what's funny to me is the sun rules Leo, and these people can even have acrophobia. That means they don't want to be around people too much. They really don't. Some people with serious acrophobia. It's not just a feeling they don't want to be there, but they can really start to inside of their mind they start to have even medical problems and stuff. These type of people don't like to be in large crowds. They're introspective. If the sun is placed in a water sign, a native will enjoy spending his lonely time near the sort of like. It's funny. I just did a chart like this, almost like the same stuff. It's a different placement, but it's a lot like this. And it was about anything that you have that's in your subconscious mind, your past, anything that happened to you, anything you have to bring it to the light so that you can heal. And also, it helps the other people heal as well. So if you got sun in the 12th house, you may have experienced abuse from someone or even bullying. I know a guy like that. He went through a similar. So what he did as he got older, he got sick of being like a nerd and scared of everybody and stuff. So he took karate, and then he got real good. So he wasn't scared of nothing. You know, he go into the hood by himself and say he could care less. He would walk right up to people. He could care less. But then he became too kind of say cocky. So he was no longer a nerd. Nobody gonna beat him up. Nothing like that. He could protect his family and stuff. But now he was a little bit too aggressive. So this person may be interested in psychology and the occult. They said this type of person will play the role of a psychologist to other people, even if he's not qualified to be one. That's funny. He said, but they said his advice will be like a real psychologist, though. Again, so everybody knows where I'm at. I'm at astrocodex.com, Sun in the 12th house. But they say this type of person will give good advice to other people, but they won't follow their own advice. Because this person doesn't have a concrete perception of his own self. So again, we got to work on that. Work on having a concrete perception of yourself. Work on making sure people understand you when you talk. Sometimes it's asking questions, but I try to tell people, and I'm a little bit. I guess I'm a lot like that guy, that kung fu guy, because I really go head on. You know, I don't fall back. Because you gotta, no matter what, you gotta stop. Like if you're feeling a certain way about yourself, remember if anybody did assault you or whatever, that person was probably a weirdo. Like they had their own problems. I would never carry what somebody else did to me because that's just stupid. Sorry, it is because you're gonna go through your whole life and that person, they may be dead. Like I would never let somebody victimize me inside of my head and stuff. I might get beat up when I'm little or something like that, but I'm not gonna carry that my whole life. The person was obviously crazy. So I know it's harder to heal, but you don't want to keep using it as a crutch. So you have to. This is what I'm saying. You have to say, what can I do to look at this situation and deal with it? And you got to start whatever it took. For that guy, it was taking kung fu or whatever he took, karate, whatever he took. For anybody else, it might be music or whatever. But you got to come out of that shell, and you can't stand that shell. And what happens with people, they can let you down. They can hurt you. They can set you up. They can violate you. So you do have to put up some guards. Not total guards, but you do have to put up some guards. So people with sun in the 12th house, they feel more like souls than bodies. But it's funny because the sun is solar. So this person may not exercise as much and stuff like that. So like I said, again, always remember these are things you should do. As long as you can do it, you should always make sure you are eating right, exercising right, and having proper hygiene. Because people can have a billion different reasons why they don't have proper hygiene. But the fact is, you should have proper hygiene. So whether you have to make a list or whatever, you want to always be working on these things we're talking about. That's why I said take notes, because that'll be the whole purpose of this natal chart. Because it's easy to fall into a rut, and nobody should ever just blame the world. Oh, well, you see, I'm like this because so and so used to beat me up. Oh yeah, I wasn't always like this, but I was in the store and white people started accusing me, and ever since then, and that'll be like 15 years ago. Like, wow, 15 years ago? What are you talking about? Like when you be talking about somebody and they be talking about somebody that's dead. So, oh, well, my husband died. Oh, your husband died. I'm sorry to hear that. When did he die? Oh, 1972. Like what the? So people will carry it, and it'll become a crutch. It's an excuse for everything. Make sure bill is due. Oh, my husband. Ever since my husband died. When did your husband die? 2000. Ever since then, I just haven't had it together. You do realize it's 2019. I know, but so you can't do that. Like you gotta. That's why I say take notes, set goals, because that's the start. And that's why I say even people with spirituality, because in 2011 at the it was called the temple. The temple I went to on Sundays. We had a Sunday school study, and a black man was asking this black female to get married, and these are all Christians. And she said to him, "Marry? How can I marry you?" She said, "When people get married, they should be in love." She said, "How can I know if I love you or not? I don't even love myself." And I said, "How is this person sitting up in a Christian church and not knowing if she loves herself?" So we're not doing our homework. We're not studying. If you're a Christian, you should know about the love of the Messiah. You understand? So don't sit somewhere and just suck up whatever you're doing. Find out what you're doing. Get into it. And if you're sitting somewhere where you're not being reinvigorated, then you got to repent. That's what it means about being converted. Whatever it is, you got to repent and change that. Because ultimately, the only person that's going to really be responsible for making you happy is you. Because that's what people do. Oh, I got a man now. He'll make me happy. But he's gonna have his own faults. He's gonna have his own flaws. He's got his own problems. So he'll be able to do some of that, but not everything. So off the door, if you don't know how to make yourself happy and stuff, that's a problem in itself. And I try to tell, because that's one thing I see on this planet is so much trying to. Somebody else is supposed to get it. Let somebody else do it. Let somebody else. Don't do that. Try to hold yourself accountable for everything if you can. Doesn't mind letting people in, but don't get comfortable with that. Because what if they don't do it? And it's just so easy to blame somebody, or just some people are just downright lazy. Like one of my favorite movies was Blues Brothers. When that woman chased John Belushi's character all through that movie because they were supposed to get married and he left her at the altar. So she was coming to get him and coming to get him and she was trying her best to get him all throughout that movie. And finally the showdown came where she finally had him and he had nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And she had that double barrel rifle on John Belushi. He was down on that floor. And she was trying to, she's ready to kill him. So all of a sudden he just starts with all these excuses. That dude used every excuse in the book. That was like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. He used every excuse in the book, and she was gonna kill him. And then when he got done, she just dropped the rifle and just started hugging him and crying and all that. Like she actually believed that crap. That was just funny. So people do that. Where's the homework? My dog ate it. Oh, my mother. I put it on the table. My mother threw it. My threw it. Well, why didn't you just pull out the garbage can? Oh, did I say garbage can? I meant she threw it in the furnace. We needed some heat in the kitchen because our heat isn't working, so my mother just threw it. She didn't know what it was. So these people lie about everything. So you can't do that if you want to be productive in life and you want to move forward. Because like I said, what we all gonna do when we really don't want to move forward, we're gonna. Oh, my father beat me. Yeah, my father was violent. Yeah, well, so I don't really have a lot of initiative. So now everything's gonna be an excuse. It's a crutch. So you gotta kind of understand we're gonna go through a lot of challenges in this life. The scriptures say you're gonna have many challenges in the world, but take courage. I've conquered the world. In other words, that's what the Messiah said. Now, whether you believe in the Messiah or not, it's still great wisdom. So that's why I say have a notebook, have goals. What are you gonna do today? What are you gonna do when you get up tomorrow? You got any goals? What's the goals? You want to get up with that, and the more you start doing that, and like I said, with the internet, especially on YouTube, they got a video for anything. They got a channel to help you and stuff like that for anything if you really want that help. Because let's just say, because they say this type of person kind of may be inhibited and stays by itself. But let's just say you like to study ancient animals or something, and let's just say you just found out that in a foreign country the animal you're really interested in is there, and you can see like pictures of it, or you can see like whatever fossil record. or whatever you could do. But you could actually see it and touch it, and now you're interested. So now you said, I don't care, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get there. So now it's just something that had to interest you to make you have that, because everybody should have that passion every day. Every day you wake up, it should be passion no matter what's going on, because it's not going to change if you're going, oh, somebody beat me. Oh, these people are crazy. Oh, I don't. And the scriptures talk about a guy that talks about a lion outside. Now, there ain't no lion outside. So this is in the book of Proverbs. Why won't you go outside tomorrow? Oh, no, it's a lion out there. There ain't no lion outside. So we'll just start making billions and billions of excuses. So you don't want to do that. So if you will listen, I gave a lot of advice on how to start. I'm not saying it's gonna work. I'm not saying, oh, I gave some advice and that'll change your whole world. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you take steps. You do something so that you don't do the same thing tomorrow that you did yesterday and the day before, because it's never gonna change. So now you also have to be careful, because with your sun in the 12th house, anybody you socialize with will try to absorb your energy. Now I see that a lot. They call them energy vampires. You have to be very careful. They're warning you about negative people. They say these negative people will be a daily dose of poison if you want it. Now, I'm about to tell you something. I'm personally telling you this. The person that requested this. Now they're telling you a lot of stuff about negative energy, and all this is real because I've seen it my whole life since I've been on this planet. I'll give you one example, but you need to multiply it by a million or so. 2 or 3 million if you want. Now, my neighbors, known them all my life, don't have a lot of history with them, but I've known them all my life. Now, it's kind of hard to understand all this, and I don't want to give you the long, it's not, because that's not what this is about. But what I'm trying to say is, I really don't have no connection to them whatsoever. Now, I've been on this planet now decades, and I've learned it. I'm probably a master psychologist because I've been here, so I studied everything, and I just know how the universe runs, and I just know, just everything. But you are gonna have some type of crazy stuff on this planet. A lot of crazy people, a lot of friction, and you just have to be careful. You could actually be trying to do something nice and unselfish and get yourself in a whole lot of trouble because people are just negative. And unfortunately, the people that are supposed to be spiritual and they be the main ones that are not, in that situation. So that's this planet. You may already know that as it is. But point being made, like I said, I have no type of connection with my neighbors at all. So, but there's always going to be something. So at the end of the day, they just have a horrible habit of, being, not really caring, being lazy and not caring. And it's like my house be coming before your house, and I'm doing a lot of stuff that's kind of lazy, and all the stuff ends up on your property, blocking your driveway and stuff. So you think if you just let me know that that's happening, that I'll do the most, the right thing. But instead of that, I get mad at you, and then I'm trying to start some type of stuff with you. So that's kind of like what they did. And I was trying to be the bigger man, so I let it slide for like 7 years because I knew who they was. Because normally I handle stuff right away. I don't play games. I don't do that. So finally, after 7 years, I knew they wasn't going to stop being a-holes or whatever. So I started to become more aggressive, holding them accountable for their actions, letting them know I'm not going to keep on cleaning your stuff up and all that. And they just kept on being a-holes and a-holes and a-holes. And I was trying my best to find a way to get these people out of my life. Because they got really bad. Like if I come outside, they come outside. If they see me come outside, they come out and lock their car doors. It's just stupid shit. I know these people my whole life. They were just like they were the nut jobs. And then they bought in another car. Because in their sick minds, they thought I was trying to park. Once we started arguing, I didn't park nowhere near them people. So they would pull another car. Like we don't even know where they got this third car from, and they would park that car there because they were trying to say I was trying to park there, which I wasn't. Then they would do all kind of crazy stuff, like on garbage days, they come outside and do all kind of weird stuff and all this crazy shit. So they was going out of their mind just to stay in my consciousness and stay in, by any means necessary. Now, could it be psychological reasons for it? It could be. Could they just be a couple of whats? Probably. But don't feel I have a whole lot of people around me like this. But I was determined to get them out of because they shouldn't have been in my life any way, shape, or form. Because first off, it's not my responsibility how they put their curbing. That's their responsibility. And everybody was trying to make me, oh no, you should be. No, I'm not going to be responsible. So I really believe there is negative energy. You can call it the devil. You can call it whatever you want. But there is negative energy in people. And if they're not careful, they bring it. So unfortunately, it took a while for me to get it. But I finally had to report them to a higher source. Because the lower sources, they were all good friends. Because she's been in the township for a long time. And she used to be a teacher. So they weren't going to do nothing against her. And all I wanted her to do was keep her stuff on her, I don't got no beef with LA. I don't even know her like that. Like I still don't understand the whole thing. But this is a crazy ass planet. So once they realized that I guess you can call it checkmate. Once I finally checkmate, then they got on with their lives and left me alone. So now when I come outside, they're not coming out with all that foolishness. I don't see them, and they don't do all that crazy stuff with. Because they would not leave. And like I said, I already got relatives like crazy like that. It's crazy. Just drama queens, and I men too. Men too. I'm not just talking about females. These people got nothing better to do but just cause problems, cause problems, cause problems. So what they're warning you about when it says negative energy, you have to control your environment. Some people think they got to go somewhere because they got a false religious belief. Now, the 12th house does deal with false beliefs like religion and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you're not doing anything destructive to yourself. Because that's why people go crazy. And they do go crazy in the 12th house. Because you think you got to be somewhere where you don't. I don't go nowhere where people is tripping. That's why I did my best to get them out of my life. Because I knew the faster they got out of my life, the better it'd be. Because I really have no connection with these people. At all. So I didn't know what that was all about. But I do believe in evil spirits. I do believe evil spirits get on people. Or some people are just nut jobs. So no, we don't do that here no more. Like I've been here long enough to tell you, you have to learn how to say no. Cut it off. Cut those people out. Don't let these people get a grip in your life because you'll be the one going crazy. So they say that these negative people will be your daily dose of poison if you don't do something about it. But they say loneliness in the beginning could be good for you because you can cleanse, get yourself together, and get away from this negative energy. That's why I said those people had to be cut off, and anybody like them had to be cut off. Because all they were doing was lying, everything were lying about everything. That's why if you notice, as soon as it got reported to a higher power, all the foolishness stopped. But when they was all on, everything was a lie, and they was always coming to me like it was my problem. And I don't play that. You're not gonna lie on me. Like I've been here for a long time. Like I've never not been a fighter, but I'm a Leo. I'm a Leo in every sense of the word. But not bully. I don't bully nobody. I'm more like I fight for the innocent and shit. I fight for the small guys and small females and stuff. But I'm not no punk. And if I can resolve stuff peacefully, I will. But sometimes you gotta have like higher authorities and all threats gotta go out. I've had to use their attorneys for different stuff. This is not an easy place to live. But that's why I say you have to learn how to protect yourself. So they say somebody that has a sun in the 12th may have a weak father who is either absent or passive as a character. Father might be an abuser of substances or alcohol or even tobacco or whatever. And they say if this person's sun is aspected with a positive aspect, then the father might be like a good person, but he has a passive and unsuccessful role in life. They're saying he might be a nice guy and be compassionate, but he's unable to structure his own life to be a strong parent for the native. In some cases, people that have a son in the 12th house, they might not even know who the father is. Or it could be like a Jack Nicholson, where they told him this man is his father and it wasn't. It was like his uncle or something. So they say this happens when the sun is adversely linked with the Pluto or Neptune. And we'd have to look into that, but you still got to remember that the sun rules the 12th house. So Pluto, if aspected negatively to the sun, it could be the death of the father. And Neptune, if negatively aspected to the sun, could be a fog around the father. This can create orphans, or the father may be unknown to the native, at least for a period of time. If the sun is connected somehow to the 6th house or the 10th house, it means that this person may work in a prison, a hospital, or an asylum. Generally in all places that restrict other people. If the sun is somehow linked to the 9th house, this person may be drawn to monasteries or other religious places. And they say, depending on where the sun is and other malefics, this person may even be secluded in an institution. But I just got finished telling you that's what's going to happen. You let other people drive your ass crazy. That's what's going to happen. See, I'm going to tell you, there's a very real spirit world. That's why I be trying to tell you, people don't understand this stuff. And that's why I said, nowhere in the world I'm going to be sitting up in church and don't understand what that book say. You foolish. Just like I tell people out here, you going to go through your whole life and not get your natal chart done correctly? That's just fool. That's sheer foolishness. That's like being in the hood where you could know where all the killers is at, all the robbers and thieves, and you ain't gonna do it. And in the moment you get jacked, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna want the whole world to stop because somebody went upside your head and took something from you. But you had all opportunity to get the correct information. And that's why most of these people on this planet, they think this is a joke. This ain't no joke. Like if God set you up to be around the Bible, he set you up to be around the Bible for a reason, not for you to just look at it or pick it up when you just walking somewhere or trying to look good. So you're leaving open doors, and those doors it's gonna be an effect. That's why we're spending so much time on this because they keep talking about crazy people and stuff like that. You gotta learn what your purpose is. You gotta learn how to get strong, move forward. That's why I said they tried their best to try to make me feel guilty. I said I'm not feeling guilty for them. These ladies is crazy. These particular ones I'm talking about, they nut jobs. Nothing better than they act like my relatives. I don't know them like that. Y'all would think I do these people. I don't know them like that. Y'all would think I've been over their house or something. We grew up. It wasn't like that. Never was like that. I don't know these people. Not like that. So I got relatives that act the same way. Try their best to be all up in your face, all up in your body, all up in your face, all up in your person, all up in everything. Too much. Too much narcissism. Too much. And then I noticed, but they don't do nothing. That's what I mean. They don't clean nothing. Even when we said it earlier, like problems with hygiene, you got all that. But they got endless energy to be all up on you. So no, you gotta stop that. You gotta teach people to respect your distance, respect your space. No, I'm not gonna be here for every time you calling somebody some craziness. This stuff's not happening, and you gotta lay it back. So you gotta become stronger so you can get control of your life so you can move on. Because otherwise, that's what the people are gonna do. They drive your ass crazy. So if you were listening, gave a lot of examples that help you start to get on the right track. Because you shouldn't be feeling hopeless. You shouldn't be feeling like you got to be secluded. You shouldn't be feeling that way. You shouldn't be feeling like these people are overpowering you. You got to take your power back. So they said if you have the sun in the 12th house, make sure you take care of yourself, your body, your health, your hygiene. And they're telling you if you have the sun in the 12th house, you should think about yourself more than other people. And it's funny because you got Leo there because that's one of Leo does. Leo's always trying to protect people. Leo's always trying to make people happy, and then he gets screwed. So you got to remember that. That's why I said everything I said this guys you can run with. It comes a time when you got to look out for yourself too. So they say the more you learn how to love yourself correctly, then you can love other people. So they say become a stronger person, put yourself in a stronger position, and then you'll be a better help to other people. All right, give me a moment. I'm looking around. All right, so that's the entirety, I believe, of the 12th house. But we can do the numerology pretty much. The sun at 7, that's called the Chariot card, the Cancer energy. And when you go to her 4th house, because Cancer rules the 4th house, you see Saturn there. Wow. At 21 degrees, which is karmic, 29. See, 29 degrees would be an anoretic degree, and that's very intense, and that's karmic degree. So it's not 29 degrees, but it is 29. So it's still letting you know that this is intense. Saturn is karmic. 21 degrees is karmic. That's the world card, which is Saturn energy as well. And 29 degrees. So this is usually the father card. If you got Saturn in your 4th house, that's going to be some type of masculine energy. Usually it's the father, just like what we said earlier. And you're kind of seeing that this is some type of karmic connection they have from past lives. And Scorpio is very intense. And you got Pluto there. So your 4th house is really like an 8th house. This is the supernatural. This is the psychics. This is the alternative medicine, alternative science, past lives, soulmates, soul journeys, twin flames, twin souls. Twin souls and twin flames is the same thing. It's alchemy, it's depth, taxes, death, and rebirth, sex, secrets, mysteries, can even get down and dirty, freaky. Like whenever you have Scorpio in the 4th house or the 6th house, because the 6th house is about the home, the 4th house is about the family, it's usually some type of scandal. Some type of secret stuff, freaky stuff, scandal stuff. Now the 4th house is ruled by Cancer. The moon rules Cancer. So wherever you see the moon, it's going to have a connection to the 4th house and to Cancer. 4th house is teenage to adult education, land, property, or real estate. Friends or family and ancestors. The mother, whoever raised you in that mother position when you were young, and that person will be in your subconscious mind for your duration on this planet. Vehicles and travel, the heart and health. So whenever you have like a Cancer, which Cancer rules the 8th house. Whenever you have a Cancer, Cancer rules the 4th house. Whenever you have a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pluto connection, and you do because they're both in the 4th house ruled by Cancer, or the moon, you got to be careful of spirits. That's what I was saying earlier. But he already told you that in the 12th house when we just read it. So this is just people that can come for you. And I'm not telling you to be paranoid. See, you can't be paranoid. You just have to stop being afraid. Because people going to keep coming. See, it got to the point where I didn't care no more. Because like I didn't know what these people, I don't know these people. Like I never did nothing to them. Never been in their yard, never touched their car, never did nothing. But these people was going out of their way to just, and I see it all the time though. They were going out of their way to just start shit with me all the time, try to get inside my head. Because if the devil can defeat your mind, the rest of you going to follow. That's why when we were in your 12th house, he kept talking about your body. Astral, because if the devil can mislead your mind, he's going to get that body. And what he wants with that body to inhabit it. And it's when you read. That's why I say everybody got a Bible, right? Almost everybody got a Bible. You know, maybe not as much as they used to in the good old days, but everybody got a Bible, and but nobody act like they know what's in it. All they just go, "Oh, I love Jesus. Jesus is good. Forgive everybody." For the letter, but they don't really read what's in the Bible. So point being made is in the Bible, even in Jesus' day, he had people running up to him that had demons in them and spirits in them. Because anybody coming for no reason just want to start trouble. Why? I don't know you. I never did nothing to you. So it's got to be a reason. Oh, maybe the person's just an a-hole, but why? That's not answering my question. Why are they a-hole? Oh, you know, some people just a-holes, but why? What motivates some people to just be a-holes? Could it be possible these people got some spirits or something on them? Oh, that sounds crazy. Might sound crazy, but then I just see you carrying the Bible. Same stuff's in the Bible. You just don't follow it. So that's what I'm saying. You got to get away from what these people did when they came and overthrew the indigenous people, all these holy writings, all these holy books, because that's your power. But they got you on some stupid stuff. Well, guess what? I just turned on the TV and I saw that cute dog in that beer commercial. Ha ha ha. So of course I went right to the fridge and got a beer. He's such a cute dog. Like they tell you though, not that I'm saying anything's wrong with a cute dog or beer. My point is people are programmed. They just don't realize it. They call that a tell lie vision. So they're controlling your vision with a bunch of lies that they're telling. Fake news. And then they tell you in a democracy. So they telling you up front, but you don't got so used to it. Like I know a female. She's kind of metaphysical. She said, we go good morning. She said, ain't nothing good about morning. It's like you cursing yourself. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but I'm just letting you know what it is. Like when you say hello. Well, hold up, I don't want to go low, and I damn sure don't want to go to hell. That's why somebody tried to contradict that by going high. So you got to like wake up is the point I'm trying to make. And the more you wake up and stabilize yourself, become stronger, the less chance these people had to pull you into where they going. Because my neighbors, they're in a religion that has a fake Bible. Now, according to the real Bible, if you're using a fake Bible and stuff like that, you're still gonna be damned. You're gonna be damned, and you'll never see the new world that's coming. So of course, people like that would be trying their best to knock me off my whatever by lying and just crazy shit. Supernatural stuff, crazy stuff. So one way or another, you've seen that or are seeing that. Now, Pluto in Scorpio is very powerful. And then when you go to your, it looks like your eighth house. It looks like you got Aries there. Let's make sure. All right, so in your eighth house you got Pisces, and that's highly psychic, and that's gonna go, but that's still gonna take you back to your 12th house because Pisces and Neptune rules your 12th house. So like I said, it's very psychic people, very psychic families, and it could be spiritual. Because like a lot of these Christian religions, that's why they're all talking about I'm a prophet, or I thought they be trying to tell, speak prophesying over their life and stuff like that. But that's all metaphysical stuff, really. That's more metaphysical than it is spiritual. But that's why these people do it, because if you saw their natal charts. So like I said, it's a lot going on in this house, in this fourth house. And then you see that the male is there. But now you got to watch the you got to watch the you have to watch the numerology. Now Vesta is the asteroid, but what do we know about Vesta? If you notice on this channel, I got a few videos about Vesta. They say wherever Vesta is on your chart, be careful, because if you don't know how to take breaks and take a rest, you'll burn yourself out. So this is like a family that's kind of together, but it's intense. Now Vesta is usually a priestess, a young priestess. But when I say young, it could, now I read even as young as 12 or 13. But still young, even if it's a young adult or something like that, like in their 20s or something. But it's essentially a young girl. Now, depending on where Vesta is on your chart, she is associated with rape. Because a lot of those young priestess girls, they get raped. But in some cases, she's just a young priest. It just depends on where she is in your chart. So, once again, Vesta is at 3 degrees. So what did I tell you about 3 degrees? That's like the children number. That could be the third house. And see, when you look at the third house, see, you guys can't see it, but I see it quite well. And whatever I say to you, it could be this life, but remember, when you're dealing with Pluto and Scorpio, you're also dealing with past lives. But they already kind of told you about it in house number 12, but I wanted to wait until I seen it to speak more on it. Now, like I said, the number 3, 3 degrees, that is the Empress card. And it is about growing and creativity, but it's really about new beginnings and children and creativity. But it's also Venus energy, which can also be about love. And then because it's number 3, it can also be the 3rd house ruled by Gemini. So when as soon as you look, so when you look at your when you look, see what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to show you. It's gonna be kind of difficult to show y'all, but it's right in front of your face. When you go to the 3rd house ruled by Gemini, who's there? Libra and Juno. Libra's about relationships, serious relationships usually, and Juno's about serious relationships. Then when I just told you the Vesta connects, when I told you the number 3 connects to the Empress card, which is Venus energy. Now when you follow Venus, right there, right there in Gemini. But remember, Gemini rules young people and siblings. But when it says siblings, it can be any member of your house. It just says sibling. Because y'all just gotta understand what I'm saying. First off, what we would call a family, it's totally different now. Because you have a lot of step families, you got a lot of real families, but it's like a weird household now. Like you won't see too many families that are built like, say, the 1950s. Like you won't walk in the house and the father will be sitting at the head of the table and all that shit. Cause they look at you like you crazy. It might be a couple out there, but I'm talking about any old timer will tell you that shit was written in stone. You go back to like, now I wasn't around. I was watching this on reruns. I'm like a 1960s person. But you go back to the 1950 household, man always sat at the head of the household and the family around him and all that shit. You had Bonanza, Father Knows Best, and all of them had that same scenario. Even when you got to Archie Bunker in the 1970s, even though he was dysfunctional, he still had that house setting and he still sat at that table. And even though they challenged him all the time, he was always, shut up, you meathead. Eat it. Where's the fuck? Eat it. Now you come out now, if you want a household now, you don't know what the hell is going on. For all you know, the kid will be sitting at the head of the table telling people what to do and shit. I want some more. Okay. And you looking at the father like, damn, where's your balls? My wife took them. Shut up. Yes, dear. He was talking to me like, shut up. Yes, dear. Sorry. So it's some weird, like it really is. Like I'm saying it's weird because I saw the whole process. I saw the decline and stuff like that. But that's some weird ass shit. Like I used to be a bill collector, and I kept calling this one house, and every time I called, the kid got on the phone. I just kept calling. So one time that kid said to me, "Why do you keep calling here?" I said, "Because your mom and dad owe money, and I want to keep calling until they pay." And this was like 2000, about early 2000s. So kid hung up the phone, and within a week, they paid. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is that little kid had so much power in that house that he told them to pay it, and they paid it. That's a true story. So that shit is just weird to me that they got so much authority, and they really do. And parents be terrified of their kids. Oh, I don't want my kid to be mad at me. Oh, I would never beat my kid like my dad beat me. And I agree. I agree. But don't let the kid just go without no type of discipline. This is crazy. So you're noticing, you're seeing all this love in places where children tend to be. And based on what we learned in the 12th house, it's just something to be aware of. Now, could it mean there's some type of love going on with a Gemini, Gemini energy or whatever? Or maybe possibly a Libra? Possibly. Remember, Venus rules Libra and Taurus. But even when you go to the second house where Taurus is, what do you have? Virgo. And Virgo rules the sixth house, which is still home and family and small children. See my point? You can't get past it. Now, let's just say, I'm not saying this is the case, but let's say somebody flips out and says, man, you don't know what you're talking about. That never happened to me. I just told you. This life, past life, but it definitely happened. And also, you got to remember, whenever you get your natal chart, It's your past in this life. It's also past life, but also your past in this life could be your present about to happen, or even in the future. It's all going to depend on your age and stuff like that. And sometimes things happen to people that they put out of their head or they don't want to talk about. But that's why they got your sun in your fourth house, because you gotta go into the subconscious. You gotta go to the stuff hidden under the rugs. You gotta go into the things that are hidden, pull them out and deal with it. And there's a video I just did where the person was told by astrology that they had to reveal the person who abused them, because nobody's gonna heal if you don't do that. So you're actually helping that person, even though they may not think you are at first, but after healing, they may change their tune. So you definitely see something going on here, and here. And like I'm trying to tell you, you see a little bit of nut job stuff going on, and I have to call it what it is, because this person, like the other person, because my readings always come in batches. Like I might have 2 or 3 Aquarius, but they all come at the same time, or I might have similar charts that come all at the same time. So this is a person that's kind of they're kind of hiding behind spirituality, and maybe like a metaphysical or mystical or esoterical interpretation of spirituality to do things they shouldn't be doing. And you see it on the chart. So, well, who are you talking about? Well, one is the abuser and one is the victim. But the abuser is manipulating the victim. So, see my point? Number 3 degrees with Vesta. Now you got to count. Go back to the first house where it says AC, because that's all your first house, and that's Leo. So Leo's number 1. Next house number 2, Virgo. Libra number 3. Fourth house, Scorpio. See how Vesta's 3 degrees? See, that's a young child again. And then 26. 26 means the word of God. But in this case, it's somebody that's twisting scripture to get what they want. That's like the Egyptians said, okay, we're gonna screw each other, we're gonna have incest, because that way the bloodline stays clear. But nowhere in the Holy Bible did you ever hear God tell somebody to do whatever, do incest to keep the bloodline pure. Never said that. Say, well, what about Adam and Eve? See, the funny thing about Adam and Eve is this. This is the funniest thing about Adam and Eve and their children. Because they want you to believe that it was just Adam and Eve, and then whatever happened, then they had children or whatever. Whatever. But when Abel killed Cain, God said, okay, I'm going to make you a fugitive and stuff like that for what you did, because of what you did. And he's like, oh, God, don't do that, because somebody will kill me as I travel. Say, somebody will kill him. Who's somebody? So obviously there was some type of people there that he was scared of. So there's a lot of hidden secrets and mysteries there that you can't be too sure about. But essentially you won't find a whole lot of scriptures that deal with something like that. So now, so you got Pluto, which can be a strong masculine energy as well. And you got him at 2 degrees. But 2 degrees is the High Priestess card. But the High Priestess card is about bringing the two souls together, whether they're twin souls or soulmates. And then at number 1, again, you see he's lying. The number 1 is a magician card. And the magician makes you believe shit that ain't real. So you can tell he's doing the job on that female, the young one. And Scorpio is also very manipulative. But anything can happen in Scorpio. So that's the first house and the fourth house. Second house, which is ruled by Taurus. First house is ruled by Aries and Leo. See, but they're making this person strong so she won't be afraid to speak up. And by me just telling her certain things, if she's listening, I just told you. I was around a bunch of crazy ass people too. Still, a lot of them are still alive. Some of them are dead. But I had to, because like I said, I always knew I was sent. Like I knew this wasn't my planet. And if you want to learn more about it, just study Earth Angels on YouTube. It's so much information that people don't look up, and it's all free. But people are sent here, like Messiah. People are sent here because if they didn't come, this planet would have been self-destructive. Because anywhere you go where the parents are killing their own kids or raping their own kids and shit, you know it's crazy. So people are sent to keep reminding these people. Because all this is going to be judgment in the end. When somebody says, oh, I didn't know. That's Matthew chapter 7. Oh, I didn't know. You ain't going to get away with that. And you see him trying it in Luke chapter 16, which is about hell. Because the guy keeps going, oh, send so-and-so. Send to my brothers and I tell them so that they don't come to this place. They're like, no, they got Moses. No, they don't know, they're not Moses. They need more than Moses. Send somebody from the dead. And they'll surely believe somebody from the dead. And he said, listen, if they don't believe Moses, they ain't going to believe nobody from the dead. So that's what I mean. People are not going to do it. But you still got a record. God wants a record that you did talk to him. You did everything to wake them up. And then when they still don't wake up, then that's on them. So you see all this going on in the first house. Fourth house. Going back to the second house, ruled by Taurus. But Virgo's there. So Virgo's going to deal with the sixth house, home, health, healing, small children, small animals, co-workers, subordinates. But now when you get to the sixth house, you got the moon, which is kind of like the mother. But Capricorn's right there. So that's either karmic, karma, and then some type of employment in the sixth house of the home. But still, the implication is that Saturn rules Capricorn. So it's still kind of like a cold home or family environment. And it seems like the mother's kind of going along with it. Or the feminine represented by the moon is going along with this cold. You know, because some people, like I said, they have all these rules. And it's not fully their fault. Because the devil, like I said, the devil is a liar. So what he does, he takes these people that really want to serve God and be obedient, but he puts them in a situation that they won't survive. Because you can't tell somebody, oh, you can't have sex and all that, because you still got sperm. That sperm got to come out. And when that sperm ain't coming out, you best believe you're going to start trying to do whatever you're going to do. Not justifying it, but that's what it is. So again, you see this coldness and stuff like that. So now, when you get to the sixth house, you see Neptune. And believe me, Neptune can also be about scandal. But Neptune retrograde is people who are in a fantasy world or people who escape. but it's a deceiver. Neptune is a deceiver. It rules Pisces. These are the people see. Like I said, when you see all these people that call themselves Pope, priests, and all that, and then they doing all this horrible stuff, molesting children, and even worse, raping children. That's why these children don't get found out. Because some of them, after they rape them, they put them to death, and some of them believe that while they be torturing them and stuff while they raping them because they feel like whatever they do. Like if you want to know what they do with those kids, go to Mark Taylor, the official. But like y'all gotta understand, this information was out in the early 1990s. Chick Publishing used to talk about all that. But that's why you could tell you in an evil world because they've known about it. They don't do shit about it because they don't want to do something about it. There is a very wicked world, but people don't want to deal with it. So like even on her natal chart, they're telling her to be brave enough to deal with it, brave enough to bring these people to justice. So in the sixth house, Neptune retrograde is really trying to escape. Well, to me, it's two different type of energies. One is lying, like they use in the Bible. They use all kind of crazy shit to justify like incest and stuff. Because they'll say, "Oh, well, the Egyptians and blah blah blah. You don't want to mix with this world because this world is forsaken and bad. We gotta stay here for each other and stuff." But it's not. He's just trying to control the situation. He's a pervert. He's a pedophile. So that's why Neptune retrograde is a deception. Neptune is a deceiver. Neptune retrograde is all about like escaping and pleasuring oneself. And then the 1 degree, like I already told you, that's Gemini. But that's the magician. That's the deceiver. All right. So now you got the 1 degree, Neptune retrograde, and then a number 20 takes you back to Pluto energy. That's a judgment card. So that might be saying that's his judgment for the deception. But like I said, the fourth house is the family, the sixth house is the home, but they basically the same. And it could be the house you grew up in, but it could also be your own house after you grow up from your parents' house and stuff like that. The moon is usually feminine, the mother. 19 degrees. See with the sun. And give me a second. I gotta get the original. All right. The one thing that might be good news is the mother may actually team up with the female, because that moon is possibly representing the mother. And it really doesn't matter in this case. It doesn't matter if the mother's alive or not. She'll still be there. But then, like I said, people, when they don't understand how this works, at the end of the day, it's all about energy, and you're in a matrix. So you can bleed a matrix if you want, but you're in a matrix. Even in the Bible, they were talking to Jesus about when people die. So they thought they had him. They said, listen, Moses said, because see, this is like today. These people believe in you can be married many, many times. But biblically speaking, you can't do that. So they try to tell Jesus, listen, a woman was married to a man, but he died. So then she got married to another man, then he died. Then she got married to another man, then he died. And they went 7 times. Finally, they all died. And she died too. So when they get to heaven, which one gonna be her husband? So he says, you don't understand scripture, you don't understand the power of the spirit. He said, in that world that they're going to, it's just gonna be like the angels. Ain't gonna be no husband and wife. And as far as people dying, he said they're all living in God. So in other words, we down here, we believe in death because we caught up in the matrix. But you can't die if you're a soul or a spirit. All that's eternal. Just like Jesus said that John the Baptist was Elijah. So that's reincarnation. But they make you think, oh, that's not what he meant. That's what he said, but that's not what he meant. So when you listen to these devils, just like if you go to Proverbs chapter 8 right now, you see them talking about the feminine God, wisdom. And she's throughout the Bible. She's also at Revelation chapter 13. Here's wisdom, the number of the beast and the number of his name, or the name of the beast and the number of his name. But they'll say, oh, no, that's just a personification. No, that's not that. That's not feminine. That's just a... So these devils are going to keep on lying. And then people just got to wake up. So what I'm trying to tell you is, you see the mother, because this is karmic, and I'm going to show it to you. But you see them standing up against this Cancer energy. And the moon can deal with mystery too, but it's 19. It's the sun. Just like you got the sun in this house, the 12th house could be secrets too. But they're saying don't, because 19 is the sun card. So both the moon and the daughter are going to realize that we have to deal with this. And it is going to be healing, because the moon is nurturing too. And even look, I told you the moon ruled Cancer. Now look where your Cancer is, right across. And you got the moon. You got the kid. That's Kyrus, the nurturer, like the mother, and it's still 21. 21 is karmic degree. It's a world card, but it's a karmic card. It means endings, but it also means karma. And it's Saturn energy. And then when you go to that vertex, it's 21 degrees too. Because vertex could be a soulmate, twin soul, twin flame, which is a twin soul. Twin flame, twin soul is same soul, different body. Soulmate is anybody that's in your soul tribe. And most of the people you're around, you've been around before. I always tell people, if you want to check it out, all you got to do is go to a search engine. I use Yahoo Search. All you got to do is go there and type in John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln. So some people go similarities, coincidences, stuff, comparison. But I just say John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, reincarnation. And when that happens and you study it, look it up, it's going to shock you. Now you say, well, why are you saying them two? Common sense. What do they both have in common? They have connections to the real people, the melanated people, the real people of God. That's why. And Jesus already told you, John the Baptist Because what does John the Baptist and Elijah have in common? The real people of the Bible, the real nation, the real melanated, the real nation, the Hebrews, the nation of Israel. So you can say, "Oh, I don't believe it." You can say whatever you want, but it's right in front of your face. But like I said, he even said some people ain't gonna believe it. Like he just said, if somebody came back from the dead, these people are so hard headed, they still not gonna see it. So even if a person came back from the dead and said, "Look, everybody, the Bible's correct," and blah blah blah, they're gonna look at him like, "Oh, that ain't him," or "That's some type of trick," or "It's probably a clone." They're never gonna believe that shit. Just like whenever Jesus would do something, they will, "Oh, it's a ghost or a spirit." So no matter what they do, whatever that realm does to try to prove it, the people in this realm gonna make up some stupid ass reason not to listen to it. All right. And if you notice, see the vertex cross is 21, which is still karmic or Saturnian, and it's also 19, which is again sun. And this is all talking about revelation. It can't be hidden no more. So we did all your houses from 1 to 6, except for 5. We'll do that a little bit later. Not yet. Now in your 7th house, this is your relationship. This is Libra energy. Your 6th house is ruled by Virgo. Your 5th house is ruled by Leo, and that's ruled by the sun. And we explained all the other houses. All right. So yeah, we did your 6th house. So now we jump into your 7th house, ruled by Libra. All about serious relationships, agreements, contracts, open enemies, possibly cemeteries, the law, karma. Now you got good fortune there. That circle with the X in it is part of fortune. And what that does, it really does is amplifies fortune in whatever house it's in and stuff like that. So you can't go wrong with good fortune there because a part of fortune or good fortune. But then you got Jupiter, which is retrograde. Now, Jupiter retrograde may mean that it might be some money lost, and may mean that because Jupiter direct means making money. So Jupiter retrograde may mean some type of money loss. But what it normally means is a change of belief systems. So it's in this house that something's going to change your belief system. And y'all ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say, but I've been telling you about the number 12, and that's what this guy does. He moves in. Let me just like Libra. Libra is interesting. Libra is an interesting zodiac sign because Libra tends to be in a little bit of denial as well. Like I'm talking about Aquarius. Aquarius is an interesting zodiac sign. It tends to be in denial a lot. Like Aquarius's motto is "I know," but really, a lot of times what Aquarius does is jump into something real quick and start using certain words to make you think he knows or she knows, but they really don't. Like Aquarius would say something like, "Oh, I understand," and you have to understand, and it's something he had to overstand. So he's just using these words. So you go, oh wow, Aquarius, look at all these words, Aquarius. He knows so, but he really don't know. And I don't care if he's mad, because if you look across, you see Leo. Leo and Aquarius oppose each other. Just like if you remember when Dolo used to be out here, Dolo was always calling out this guy that was in Aquarius that knew Dolo. So one time an Aquarius came, and I automatically don't like the dude, because I saw what he was trying to do. He was going out of his way to be something that he's not, and don't talk to me with words when you don't know what the meaning is. That just sounds stupid. So I eventually went on to read his chart, and I noticed one thing. Like, the female that he was doing the chart for was like underage, like really noticeably underage. And so you got to be careful when you do stuff like that. So now getting back to this. So you keep seeing that 12 degrees. And Jupiter retrograde, like I said, is questioning a belief system. It's challenging it. And you see it challenged throughout this chart if you're listening. So sometimes people have good fortune, but that becomes a crutch for them. Because when you have good fortune, you'll be less resistive to things. All right. So anyway, about this other Aquarius. So like I said, so she was underage. So like you got to be real careful with information, like stuff like that. So nothing like he was he was a man. He was like in his 20s, maybe like 25. I don't know, but he was a man. So he nothing stopped him from trying his best to pursue something that could have got him in trouble with the law. All right. So you see the opposition. Now you just go right across. You got the 12th house, which became the first house, which is now opposite the 6th house, which became the 7th house. So it's definitely some type of belief system going on. It's questioning. traditional relationships because Uranus is anti-traditional. But the person that's doing this is a hypocrite because he's hiding behind Saturn, he's hiding behind Capricorn, but he's got a Aquarius Uranus break tradition way. All right, so you see that going on, and the reason why you got a little bit of good fortune in there, got a little Jupiter, and so like when Hitler took over, and everybody thought this was the man. He had a strong military behind him, had a lot of powerful people behind him, and it just sounded like he knew what he was talking about. And they were sick of being bullied. They had lost the first war, whatever. They had been being bullied even before World War One, and they were sick of it. So you see that number 7 again. What good that circle with the X to it is called part of fortune or good fortune. 12 degrees, like I told you, that's like Neptune energy. Does with deception, but it also deals with isolation. So this man may even use isolation and really get inside this female's head. And remember that the number 12 breaks down to the number 3, which is still young children. Number 7, like I said, it's Cancer energy, but number 7 can also be deception as well. It's like a mystical number. All right. So I pretty much overall told you what's in the 8th house, why it's psychic. Psychic because you got Pisces also, it's watery. So you got to be careful of spirits and things of that nature. One thing about people that got spirits, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They tend to be pedophiles. They be in all type of alternative sex and stuff, and they're very lustful. And you can see this on the chart as being, as the victim, not the victimizer, not the victim, but the victimizer. All right. So when you go to the 9th house, Sagittarius, but see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius. This is your higher self. This could be foreign people, foreign speaking people, long distance travel. It could be like a teacher. It could be a person that deals with all culture, religion, philosophy. All right. So to understand that 9th house, you got to go back to the 5th. So that's like whenever you see like a see the fifth house is ruled by the sun and ruled by Leo. And that's like that's also supernatural powers. Like that's a person that's connected to other realms around you. And this is why these people get themselves in trouble and they go so deep with it. Because what they're saying may be true on another planet, but here if you do that, you're gonna get locked up. So that's aggression. When Aries is gonna be aggressive, and then the fifth house is ruled by Leo, so it's gonna really be aggressive. Uranus retrograde is somebody that can come out of anywhere at any time, and the person could also be bipolar. Now, usually, a person with Uranus retrograde in a past life, they may have served in the military, but this person will stand up to any form of unfairness. But that can happen with somebody that's been abused or something, because they perceive anything as abuse. Like you might have a supervisor that's just trying to get you motivated, whatever, and you ain't gonna have it because you still like, oh, my father did this to me, so you're not gonna have it. But Uranus retrograde is like that. And like I said, for past life, it could have been a soldier, but but in this like they're very extreme. So they have to learn to kind of like let it go, have a middle ground, and realize everybody's not gonna do what you feel is right, even if you are right. When somebody say whatever. I don't want to use no examples because people are so temperamental. Temperamental now. Temperamental. That's the best I can do. So that's what's going on in this fifth house. It's almost whatever. And this person might have a little bit of money, maybe have a little prestige. Because you gotta remember, that's what I'm not gonna say his name. I did say it the other day. But I'm not gonna keep saying his name because he did die. But this was a past that was taking young boys up on a plane. And when you a boy, you in all these nice cars, you don't know what this man wants. You just think he just like you or something, but not that way until you get up in that plane. And like I said, get you isolated. That's why you seeing all these 12s. Because where you gonna go when you up in a plane and shit? And it's just you and him, can't no witnesses. He knew what he was doing, so he got him up in a plane, and then they could talk about. Oh, it sounded like the boy knew what he know. The boy know he's gonna get raped. That's a rape. If you do that to a female, that's a rape. But if you do it to a boy, the boy, obviously the boy knew what was going on. Nah, not really. Like, and it's sad because the so-called religious people justifying that type of action and stuff. But that's why that number 12 means deception. It also means isolation, and the 12th house being it because it's ruled by Neptune, and Neptune means deception. So as you can see, this is a lot of past life stuff that you have to progressively deal with. Now we're going to talk a little bit about Neptune retrograde. Say with a Neptune retrograde, logic will fall to the wayside, but your intuition or esoteric matters may increase. Because Neptune can also deal with mysticism. Neptune deals with dreams and psychic abilities. So Neptune can cause you concern more about your inner nature instead of like the physical outer nature, physical world. But you do have to be careful with Neptune because it's the ruler over bacteria, viruses, and an immune system. So you can catch some type of disease or some type of whatever. And they say when it's a Neptune retrograde, if you give a child a virus or vaccination, if you give a child a vaccination, the kid might actually develop a stronger reaction to the drug. Neptune retrograde people, they keep it all in. They don't want to talk. That's the worst mistake you make. If you've ever been abused or something like that, you just let your abuser get away with it. So you gotta learn how to you gotta be smart and wise, but you gotta know how to defend yourself. And what I mean, I'm not talking about violence and trying to fight. I mean, you could do that if it works, but sometimes you gotta tell. And make sure you're telling somebody that ain't just gonna take advantage of you more. But sometimes you go to the wrong person, other person actually then they start abusing you. So they say Neptune retrograde is a very dangerous planet to have on your natal chart because people really escape far into unreality. And that's why I said this guy's just manipulating it. So they're saying the reason why the Neptune retrograde is saying in the past life, this person's dreams may have constantly been having to be stopped. They may have been forced to give up their lifelong dreams in exchange for responsibilities. And that's what you see on this chart with all that Capricorn and all that Saturn. It's almost stopping this person from. But the person is doing he's like he's a beast because he's manipulating his spiritual power, his spiritual authority for perverted reasons. So they're telling anybody with a Neptune retrograde, you gotta learn how to meet the challenge, rise above it. Don't fall for alcohol or drugs. Don't try to run away from problems. You gotta learn how to face those problems. And again, if you can talk to God, if you don't have anybody to help you, you can talk to God for help as well. Because most people just let all this stuff happen. See, me, I'm a little bit different. You ain't gonna be putting your hands on me. You're not gonna violate me and think I'm not gonna try to tell or get your ass in trouble. That stuff ain't happening. All right. So we still not gonna do the fifth house yet. We're not gonna do the fifth house yet. Ironically, a lot of aggression in Sagittarius. It seems like it's just a run, and the ninth house is ruled by Sagittarius. It seems like this one thing they both have in common is that escapism. They both want to run. They really kind of want to get wherever, get higher, or get somewhere. Ninth house. Give me one moment. I gotta tell this person that I'm almost done with their reading. 1 minute, I just gotta type this real quick. All right, we'll keep going. So 10th house is career house, and like I said, is ruled by Taurus. Taurus rules money. Taurus rules the second house. Second house is money, possessions, your value system. And you got Virgo there, which is telling you the 6th house. So when you go to the 6th house, you got Capricorn there, which rules the 10th house of money, career, money, and career and reputation. And then you also got the mother there represented by the moon. So this will be some type of home situation. And that's why I say this is why this guy is he's smart. Because he's kind of using all of this stuff to be a pervert. He's isolating this person by being a pervert. So this is a person saying, "Oh, I homeschool because the world's kind of crazy and these people are ungodly and blah blah blah." But you worse. So now you're seeing a lot that number 14 a lot. So you got to really get familiar with the number 14, which we will. But remember, your 10th house is also very karmic. It's ruled by Saturn that rules Capricorn. So Saturn and Capricorn rule. But that 21 is always karmic. And then there's Lilith. And then when you get to medium Coeli can mean, it also deals with fate and destiny. It could also mean your career. But wherever your true north node is, it's going to connect to medium Coeli, which it does. But sometimes, the true north node, that little horseshoe, it's in other locations. But medium Coeli would still connect there. So now you're looking at your life purpose. '24 means a return to a situation. And this probably has to do with astrology more than anything. But that's a 24. It's going to return you to a situation. And it's 24 degrees, 9 minutes. Nine is, again, Virgo. 9 is the Hermit or Virgo energy. And when you go to your second house, Virgo is right there. So they're even telling you that they put you in the home with this guy that you got a history with. See, with past life, that's how that works. In one lifetime, they may have been the cab driver. You may have been the passenger. In this lifetime, now you're the cab driver and they're the passenger. Because the number 24 definitely means return. Returning to a situation or a person you got history with. And it's usually past life history. So now let's just take a look at Lilith in the 10th house. Alright, so this is a good one. This is the Astro Codex. Just remember anything with anything with Capricorn or Saturn, you're dealing with karma. So wherever you see Lilith, it could be subconscious energies of malice and self-undoing. But why? Because of that Capricorn energy. Because you see it on your chart. And that Capricorn energy, Saturn energy, is all about rules, or can even be a bully, can even be abusive, or can force you for its own selfish purposes. I'm just reading this over. They're saying Lilith in the 10th house, if she's on her own, it may work out. Because they're saying if she's in a vindictive way, if she's in a vindictive scenario, she'll do well because it's Lilith. So it says the 10th house rules the dominant parent, and usually it is a chart's owner's father, which I was pretty sure of that anyway. So if Lilith's in the 10th house, she doesn't like her father's authority, and she can reach extremes in order to manifest rebellions towards him. So because of her not getting along with him, she may develop hatred to any men who have had similar characteristics like her father. But unfortunately, on this chart, it kind of gives the implication that that's exactly what's going to happen. And they're saying if she could become a difficult worker if she's really opposing his authority. But the implication is she's going to be somewhat always at some type of home situation or something like that. All right. So like I said, this person may have a problem with authorities. We've already covered that. Because that's where Uranus retrograde is, right in it's in that Sagittarius. So this type of person may even do secret stuff like sabotage people that they're mad at. And they say if this person was to have employees, they may treat their own employees kind of mean. So a 10th house Lilith can create lust for power and need to be controlled. I remember seeing one time when I said Lilith in the 10th house means scandal. And then they say Lilith can be very seductive in the 10th house. Yet Lilith did not develop healthy love in the 10th house, and she may bring discord into the job activity environment. Yup, I just said it. And she'll probably get involved with scandals. And they say the more her internal stuff is seen by the people she's around, the more they're going to talk about her. All right. But they're saying Lilith can work good in like negative criticism and stuff like that. Now that's probably true, but I don't know because I know a lot of women they can become very concerned about what what people are saying. But I guess some of them don't, because they're like Lilith kind of does better when it's like that. And they say it actually makes the person more known and powerful, because people are scared of power. And you can just see what even medium Coeli is at the highest peak of that chart. So this is a person that probably could be very powerful, but the power is based on all that secret, all those secrets she's holding on to and stuff. All right. Lilith in the 10th house with Capricorn can be cruel, manipulative. Saying this person wouldn't worry about stepping on courses to get what they wanted. They say the same thing about Vesta and Capricorn, which is what she has in the 4th house. So this person will use backstabbing and all kind of things to get what they want, manipulation, playing this person against the other person. And if somebody run up on her, she's gonna lie and say she didn't say it. So 10th house Lilith may have jealousy as well. Not just but like another, like jealous of a man she likes. She's gonna have jealousy just for other people's success and other people's story. Or yeah, but if she saw like a happy couple, that might make her jealous too. So this person is really gonna be obsessed with becoming famous, studying about it and all that. How to become famous and successful. So that even their close friends won't even know what they're really about. But they already said that about that Neptune retrograde. See, like a lot of stuff is delusional, but that if you've been victimized, that's one of the reasons why you will, because you don't want that to happen. And so they say that the 10th house is the most noticeable to others, and is at high risk of having plans revealed. But whenever you have Lilith in the 10th house, that's scandal. Like she'll set your ass up. And in the 10th house, she'll make it, like I said, somebody be talking to you, you be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Oh, he's cute. Or whatever. Oh, shoot, this dude is packing it. And you think you can get away with it, because like on some Bill Clinton shit, Monica Lewinsky, because you think you can get away with it. Like it turns you on. Like, oh, we're going to do this right here. Oh, we got the door closed. They can't see what's going on in here and shit. But you don't know what's in it. Might be some cameras in there, whatever. And people ain't stupid. And y'all got to remember, people are psychic too. This is a true story. I was at this job, 2001, but it was this female. But she was like real aggressive. She's a black female. But like she was real aggressive. So she would come up to me and be like doing stuff. She was unbelievably aggressive and stuff. So we was all in the lunchroom. It was a small lunchroom, but everybody that worked my shift was in there. And I'm sitting there going, because I'm reading the Bible. and I'm sitting at the lunch table. She's just staring at me and shit. And I'm reading the Bible, and I'm not talking. I'm not saying nothing. I'm reading the Bible, but I'm saying, let me learn what's the difference between a devil, a demon, and I said something like that. And she was sitting there, and then she said the same shit that I just said. So that chick has some type of supernatural. She is a highly sexual individual, but she has some supernatural shit. So that was either some spirit or something. Like I think people sleep. I think most people don't realize that it's a lot of people walking around here now with spirits and shit. That's why people be so fucking crazy. And that chick was always trying to get me to go home with her and shit. I was like, nah. So it said Lilith, with Lilith in the 10th house, if you got any secret plans, anything you trying to carry, it could get revealed. And definitely it's scandal. Lilith will lead you to believe that something gonna go down, but it's gonna get caught. The person you messing around with might tell on you, rat you out, or gossiping or some shit. Or sometimes people just set your ass up, just to set you up. But it's not gonna go well. That's why I say when somebody does you dirty, if somebody victimizes you, it's not smart to say, well, it was done to me, so I'm gonna do it too, because that could blow up in your face. You know, like people say fight fire with fire, but if you do, you're all gonna burn up. So sometimes you gotta find a different way to do stuff. Because it's sad when somebody been victimized, but then they turn evil and shit. Like I was a different dude. Like I be trying to help people. Like I wasn't letting nobody change me. I came here with a purpose. Ain't nobody changed my purpose. They try to take the love away from you. Ain't taking shit from me. You got to be tough. Like you got to go. And I'm not saying you got to be so super tough, but you got to be tough enough that you don't be a victim and then you don't start victimizing other people. Because that's the only thing that's gonna happen. And the more you victimize other people, God's not gonna be there for you. Like he's not gonna go, oh, show them some mercy because they were once you turn evil, you evil. And it's funny, I just studied that in the book of Ezekiel. I just studied that. And God was like, if a righteous person turn back, that's it. It can't be no more forgiveness for them. You can't, you gotta realize you gotta tap into positive energy to defeat evil. You can't beat evil with evil. You can't beat fire with fire. You're like the Borg. You just become one of them. So, but Lilith in the 10th house is a perfect placement for artistic performers. There's no better placement for dancers because of the raw sexuality radiates through Lilith in the eyes of the audience. So again, if you're trying to say, well, how can I handle my Lilith? They just told you. Because they always say, like, if you're violent, play like a violent criminal in the movies or theater. There might be one thing of doing, I don't know. Sometimes I say be a writer, but your character will take over. Like if you're a writer, your character will take over. It'll take on its own personality and everything. Just be prepared for anything, things that you can still be in control of the situation. So Lilith is a master controlling other people's minds sexually. Lilith in the 10th house is a great place for politics. So Lilith, she can create miracles in a positive way, but she can also cause her enemies to fall through those supernatural abilities of Lilith. And scandal and revelation of secrets. So if you have this Lilith energy, they're telling you have to work on changing it. And that's what I said when I first started this chart. Remember, the 10th house is always connected to the 12th house. And the 10th house is very karmic. They're telling this person to practice forgiveness, find a way to reduce your negative energy with optimistic thinking, manifestation, intention, and manifestation. All right. So now to number 14. So the number 14 is the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius energy. And that's about internal change. It's almost like a twin flame card as well. And you know it's twin flame because it's right at your north node. You see that 14 degrees. So that's Sagittarius energy too. And you see you have a lot of Sagittarius on your chart. And you keep seeing that number 14. But this is internal change. Because that's what I said with people with their twin flames. Your twin is going to change you one way or another. And everything is not always going to be great and bravo with your twin. But you should never let anybody turn you dark or whatever, because you're still going to pay for it. So the Temperance card is about internal change. You go through something and it internally changes you. So you see all that going on in your 10th house. Now when you go to 11, it goes at, they say Aquarius energy again. That would be the number 14 tarot card, which is a star card, but it's Aquarius energy. And you see it again. And then you have it again. Venus is at 26 degrees, so she's believing something. And it's being told to her that, it's God. Well, where do we go? Look at follow the line. From Venus takes you right back to Neptune. Deception. The deceiver's talking to her. And then what do we learn about this area over here? Capricorn is representing that Saturn bully type energy. This is the 6th house of the home. And mama may be aware of it. Maybe not, but she's not really trying to stop it. Maybe later on she'll try to stop it. But see, the female's going to have to stand up on her own first. So this could take years to reveal. But what I'm telling you right now is coming out right now for years to reveal. And I just gave y'all the name of another female talking about Gemini. Things that were done in the dark had to be brought out. I know a woman that was dating Gemini, and she was trying to work with me for a while. But me, I'm just a little bit different. Because I get sick of seeing people dying. Like, I don't understand it. You see all these women dying. All these college girls dying. Ain't nobody on this planet standing up. Ain't nobody doing shit that I could tell. Because this stuff been going on forever. Children been missing for decades on this planet. So I'm a little bit different. I'm like, what the hell's going on? How are we going to stop this? Because obviously y'all being lied to. Somebody clearly wants these women to be victims. And like I said, I'm all about my whole family is people that know how to dress and look good. But I'm not gonna look so good that I'm gonna become like an endangered species. Like what's the problem? Say, well, what are you saying? I'm not saying none. I'm not the one killing nobody. I'm not the one raping nobody. I'm asking y'all what's the problem, and why ain't nobody analyzing this and trying to stop it? So it seems like people. That's what I'm talking about. Aquarius is all about freedom too. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. Aquarius just want to be free. But when you're so free that you go outside jogging one day, oh, I'm sexy today, and then you're dead. I don't want to be that free. And I don't want to be that free that they just raping women and raping girls and raping everybody. And ain't no real shit stopping them. I don't want to be so free that priests are raping. Ain't none of them doing no jail time. They just go somewhere else and keep on raping. And everybody knows about it. That's what's killing me. How the hell does everybody know about it and ain't nobody stopping shit? Then they catch that one pervert and he somehow gets away. He somehow commits suicide. That was convenient. So is something wrong with this planet? Is something going on? People don't want to face it. They're in denial. But that's why I said, when people love the freedom more than anything, they go, "Oh no, they don't want it. They don't want it to stop because they're afraid that if they turn it up, then it's gonna be all these rules and they're not gonna be able to do whatever they want to. So they just let it happen. It's like a big act. See, Neptune is a big deceiver. It's a big act because everybody act like, oh, they so sad, but they don't do nothing to stop it. Oh, it's so sad. All this is going on and why, but you ain't doing nothing to stop it at all. Why? Because you don't want nobody to tell you, hey, you can't dress like that no more. Hey, you can't say that no more. So you just play the game like, oh, it's so sad. All these people dying. Oh, wow, 3 girls were murdered in just 2 weeks. Oh. But you ain't do shit about it. Go right back. So that's what all this is saying. And you're being shown why it's happening. And I'm telling you that the Most High is about to address it. That's why if you notice on it, and some of the stuff I put on unlisted, but almost every other video I did was all this stuff coming out in the natal charts. Like I told you, this is all coming in batches because God's about to do something about it. All that, hurting children and raping women, somebody got to do something. All right. And that will be God. So temperance, like I said, it's an internal change, whatever a person's going through. And that's why you're here. That true north node that looks like a horseshoe, that's why you're here. It's like I said, it's karmic, probably past life. It does have to do with your value system. What do you value in life? But unfortunately, you will have temptation with scandal, and we're being told whenever you have Lilith in the 10th house, this is a person that'll go for it because the universe will make it seem like, okay, you'll be able to get away with it, but it won't. And if it's the same person that was kind of like abusing you, but he should be found out because that way you can get healing and so can they, no matter what they say. Because everybody's always going to say, oh, don't tell when, but that's because when your heart is corrupted, you're always going to say don't tell. You can only start to see how wicked when you get help. Because without that help, you're always going to say don't tell. All right, so like I said, you're going into the 11th house, and there you see Venus she's thoroughly deceived by Neptune, but somebody didn't put the word of God, but it's a perverted word of God. But now, number 4 is Aries energy, which we already had a problem with Aries aggression. That 4 degrees is Pallas, and Pallas is usually like that's a twin flame soulmate. Pallas, twin flames, asteroid, but it's usually the one that kind of has more telling you what to do. I don't want to say authority, but basically, so that's why you see that Aries energy. And when you follow Aries, you see it's in fire signs and all that. Now, Chiron means healing, but healing is 13 degrees, which is Scorpio. That's a death card, though. So that's interesting. Because when you follow Scorpio, you look right at Saturn. So it could be the end of whatever he was doing. And then number 8 Again, could be legal. Number 8 is either the strength card, which is masculine and feminine together, or 8 can be the justice card, which is Libra energy. And I'm pretty much going to go with the Libra energy because Gemini rules the third house. And when you look at the third house, there's Libra. So that death may also be him being arrested. And that's when, like I told you, that's when healing can start. That's what I said on the other chart. Like I'm telling you, these charts come in batches. And even with that Venus, well, on a different note, she may find a love of God that gives her the strength to, because this guy's got to be dealt with. And again, if somebody's saying, well, I don't know what guy you're talking about, I don't know what you're talking about. Like I'm going to tell you, it's on there. And I gave you all the different scenarios that it could be. But it could be some past life stuff. It could be some stuff that happened in the past, something you don't remember, don't want to remember, something in the future. But either way, it is on the chart, and even if it's something in the future, now you'll be better prepared for it. Now, when you go into the 11th house, which is ruled by Aquarius, because remember, Aquarius is representing internal change for you, but it's like internal change for the better. But now you see that nurturer looks like a hook, like a pirate's hand, the hook, Captain Hook, but it's still 21 degrees, so it's still karmic, it's still Saturnian energy, but now it's more family oriented, family and friends, and it's more nurturing. Now we want to go back to your only energetic degree that's on your chart is 29 degrees Libra. Excuse me, 25 degrees Leo. 29 degrees Leo. Now since this is in the 12th house, it's still run by Pisces. So you can actually go 29 degrees Pisces if you wanted to, but you definitely want to do Leo. And just give me a moment. Just find command. Here we go again with the BS. All right, here we go. So the anaretic degree of 29 degrees is also a karmic degree. It's an intense time that will happen in your life. So 29 degrees, they're saying it's the end of a subconscious or exile cycle. Now, believe me, because we told you you're going to be having mental situations in your 12th. So what they may be telling you with that 29 degrees Leo is, because look, remember I told you Leo could be the number 8 card? And if you look at your Chiron, which means healing, you got 13, which is a death card. An 8 card could be either Leo, the strength card, or it could be Libra, the justice card. But either way, it's being associated with this tyrant being taken out. So in that case, 25 degrees in Pisces is excellent, and the 12th house is Pisces. So it means a release from a physical prison or a subconscious guilt-ridden, self-induced prison. Because like I said, when somebody's manipulating you, they done did that. They done lied on the Bible. They done got you to believe all this stuff. And just like in the 1960s, it was a group called like the PLA or the PTLA or something like that. And they allegedly kidnapped this female named Patty Hearst. Now she was a rich girl, and they kept her hostage for a while. And after a while, they had her holding up banks and shit like that. That's what they was doing, holding up banks to get money for their terrorism. So they had her robbing banks and all that. So when they finally got her back, they were like, "Well, you can't say she was guilty because she did it under the stress. So you can't find her guilty." So that's what these people do. They're masters of manipulation, and they'll have you believing that you really wanted it, but you didn't. They just play games. They just play games with your mind. But now this is the thing you got to worry about in 29 degrees. See, unfortunately, suicide or murder is possible with this anoretic degree. But I just was talking to you. Like I said, I try to tell people. I don't know what people have been through, but I was physically beaten. My father was very violent, man, beating up everybody in the house. I've had it bad too, but I always saw it differently. He didn't win. You're not going to defeat me. You're not going to win. So you gotta have some type of fire in you, in a good way. Because I get sick. Everybody wants to do evil. Everybody has a reason why they're doing what they're doing. I very seldom see somebody say, "Oh no," you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. And what you guys don't realize is the more you give into this negative energy, the more you're bringing everything down, more and more and more. Like in the scriptures, they go, how many righteous people is in that city? And he couldn't find none. Like he said, if you could have just find 5. If you could just find 5 righteous people in that city, I won't destroy it. And they couldn't find 5. So God had to go down there and have that whole city destroyed, basically. Because it's so easy in this little matrix that we're in. It's so easy to just do evil. But the only thing is you're going to pay for it. Anything you do, you're going to pay. Nothing's free. I keep telling people that nothing's free. Just like I just said, you're getting all this information about Gemini. And my last client was Gemini. And I was trying to school her, but I guess she got sick of hearing it. But now by her cutting off communication, she's got to be ready because, like I said, that other female is still warning about Gemini. And we're about to have a Gemini moon in a couple of days. So this is nothing to play with. So she's warning about Gemini. I just saw, give me a second. Her name is Arcana Priestess Tarot. Arcana, Priestess, Tarot. All right, let's go back. So now, Libra in the third house. Well, it's a lot of fantasy because Libra tends to fantasize. The third house is a little immature, but it's still about publishing, creativity, siblings. And like I said, sometimes sibling just means anybody that's in the same house as you, any bloodline family. Siblings, the brotherhood. Yet you got Juno there for a serious relationship. And if you notice, it's number 9, which once again is that Virgo energy that we've been talking about. But also, you got the number 3, it looks like. So once again, it's, child, Venus energy, but it's still child. So under those circumstances, that second house love can't really last because it's got a strong, immature energy to it. Finally, house number 5, Uranus retrograde can come out of anywhere. It's bipolar, but it's still that internal change. Number 14 is Temperance, Sagittarius energy, the card of internal change. Right? Make sure you. So that Sagittarius will change this person. And then number 11. Yeah, see, number 11 can either be Libra, Justice card, but it could also be number 8, which is Leo, the Strength card. And that's another reason why Uranus is bipolar, because you see somebody one minute they want to be together, next minute they don't want to be, and all that. So if a person said, well, why did I have to go through all that hell? Because it changed you. You had to go through it because it was a form of alchemy. You had internal change. You say, well, where do I go from here? Well, you gotta learn how to think positive and don't let others keep you going down. What's the good news? Good news is you have knowledge, so now you have an opportunity to do something positive about it. You say, well, what if I don't? Well, all anybody can do is encourage people, showing the pros and cons, and you gotta pray for people. Like that female on my channel, she's she's so small, so quiet, and she just looks like she's just a essence of like positivity, spirit, maybe spirituality, maybe love. She probably got a lot of dreams just by the way she acts, and yet she's in a prison with the more. I won't say the majority of them, but I will say this: a lot of those men just wish they could get away to just be with her, and it would be horrible. So all you can do is pray for people, tell them, and then you got to pray for them. But then you have to let them go because I really know whatever you heard me talk about. I really believe it. Like I've been doing this for decades, so I already know. And you're at that point now where shit's about to change. And in case you'll probably hear me say this more than ever, but we're at the end of the 400-year prophecy that's found in Genesis chapter 15, verse 10 and 13. So we're at the end of the 400-year prophecy. Why is it that right at the end of the prophecy, Vladimir Putin goes into Africa, which is where these melanated people came from, these dark-skinned melanated people came from? Why did he go? And not only did he go in right at the end of the 400-year prophecy, never went in there before. Why has he got nuclear warheads going in? So it has to be something to this prophecy. Why would he? All this is going on. So if you look it up and study it, that's what I tell people. Most of the stuff is free. Study. You need to wake up a lot more, because to dumb it down so much is really deadly for you. And when you see people that have a chance to use their intelligence, but they continue to do what they've been doing, you can't feel sorry for them people. So that will conclude this particular read. It's been a pleasure. God bless.